Hi guys, welcome back to the Forgetful Scholar, and this week we're going to chat about books. Two books. A book and a DNF. First DNF of 2024, let's go. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the DNF first, just kind of get it out of the way. So the DNF for me was To Steal a Heart, Secrets and Spies, Book 1 by Kate Bateman. You're probably wondering, like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. Didn't you read, like, the fourth in that series and really love it? Yeah, I did. I did really like that one. This one, so basically, it's Nicholas and Mariana. So it takes place, I stopped about 50% in, okay? So past that, I don't know. But, okay, so I thought it would be really interesting because it starts off, Nicholas is catching Mariana, or Mariana, trying to plant evidence in his room that he's, corrupt or whatever. And this is taking in place in France about 1813, so around, Napoleon is kicking about. And Nicholas is a spy. So Mariana, I thought I was gonna love her. I really did. Because first time we see her, she's walking on this tightrope from where the building across the street to his office or something. She just has a parasol to keep her balance. I was like, oh, she's so cool. I'm gonna love this, right? Okay, so this is an enemies to lover trope, and you guys know that's my favorite trope. So you guys know I'm a super bitch about it. Like, I am super picky, super picky. So, okay, she gets trapped, gets caught basically, right? And her internal monologue is all about how Nick is feared in the underground and how, like, no thief or criminal wants to be in his crosshairs, and oh crap, she's screwed. And she's like, what's gonna happen to Sophie? So later on you find Sophie is her little sister, right? And Mariana is part of the circus. So cool. She's the tightrope acrobat, and she's a knife thrower. Super cool, right? So I was like, yes, I'm wearing a Beetlejuice shirt. That's what you keep seeing. I love it. It's my new favorite shirt, that is. The movie is an old favorite, but anyway, because I kept getting distracted by his eyeballs peeking out, so I just want to let you guys know. Okay, so I was like, cool, right? Now, halfway through this book, we're in his POV twice, which I think is one of the reasons why I kind of was like, I hated his guts. And I didn't find the main girl likable either, even though I had such high hopes. So turns out Mariana and her little sister Sophie were raised aristocrats. Okay. I mean, I'd figured that was going to happen. I kind of really hoped that they weren't, that they were just circus folk, and then this spy, who obviously is going to turn out to be an English lord, marries her anyway. I thought that would have been a lot of fun. Like, it goes against a lot of historical romance sort of, I wouldn't say tropes, but like outlines that are very common. So I was kind of hoping, but that was a little disappointment. I didn't decide to DNF it because of that, right? So her parents were killed in a fire, and Sophie and Mariana end up with their cousin, who is a monster. No mistake. A monster. And there is, I don't remember trigger warning in this book in the first page. I don't remember there being one. If there is, my apologies. But there is discussions of past SA and things like that. So her parents are killed. They end up with their cousin, who is a monster, who SAs Mariana when she's like 13, threatens to SA Sophie, who's like 10, and threatens to force both of them into unconsensual SA work, you know? Somehow she manages to convince him to let her earn her keep, and she joins the circus. And she steals. She's like a big prominent thief in the underground, which I thought that part was really cool, her being a thief. Because I love thieves with the heart of gold. I just do. Anyway. So I was like, okay. Question number one I had, how did she learn how to tightrope? Because that is a skill. And she even calls herself a spoiled aristocrat before everything happened. So like, who taught her? I guess we're assuming the circus, the boys that run the circus, the brothers that run the circus, they did, but it's not really mentioned in the first half of the book. I even went back to see if I could find it. I couldn't. She is an expert shot with her throwing knives. Again, where did she learn that? In the first 50 parts of the book, did not say. Maybe after that, but that was like the questions that were prominent in my head. And I couldn't kind of let go of that. Because if you guys realize, sometimes I sink my teeth into a plot hole and I can't seem to shake it even when I want to. So there was that. And the thing is, Mariana's character doesn't seem... She changes a lot. And it's not like every page she's a different person. It's just when she's with Nick, she seems like a completely different person than she is with Duval, who is the monster. And at first I was like, oh, she's probably really scared of him, you know, right? But like, it's not really on the page that she's scared of him. I kind of like, oh, she must be scared of him. And I'm like, wait a minute, don't push something that's not on the page. We don't know that. She is disgusted by him and she hates him. Cool, understandable, you know, but there's no fear. So like, she acts like completely different people. Okay. I would even chalk that up to like maybe her feeling more comfortable with Nick, but like her internal monologue when it comes to Nicholas is so rageful, like raged Phil, that I was like, damn, this girl's projecting. And also like, she's really projecting. So that was one thing. There's a training montage in this, which I was just like, ugh. Not because some training montages I enjoy. I forget what the name of the book was. The one with the half vampire hunter. The training montage in that, I had a blast. But this one was odd because she's apparently like a renowned thief, right? Like the best, right? She can't pick a lock. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, he teaches her how to pick a lock. Now, I understand him being a spy, knows how to pick a lock, totally. Her being a thief, doesn't know how to pick a lock? Even he's like, you gotta be kidding me. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you, Nick. You gotta be fucking kidding me. That was weird. And like, that scene didn't really lead to anything. Like, I thought it was like, oh, maybe this is, you know, to lead to maybe her heart thawing a little bit towards him. Maybe some accidental sexy times. I don't know, something like a romance. No, they just find like a secret wine cellar or something. Like it wasn't even like a bonding moment. I do digress because I jumped to the training montage. Before the training montage, Duval, the monster, basically tries to sell Mariana off to the highest bidder. Nicholas bought her. You know what I mean? Basically, because he promised, he's like, when he caught her, he's like, I'll let you go if you work for me. I promise to get you out of Duval's clutches, right? And she's like, yeah, right, I don't believe you. Which, fair. I mean, she's been through a lot. I will give her that. She's been through a lot of trauma, a lot of bullshit. So I appreciated her being very skeptical. I didn't pronounce that right. Anyway, you know, just, I appreciate that because sometimes it annoys me when one of the heroes just trusts the other one for no reason. I'm like, you don't know this person. Like, what are you doing? You know, so I did appreciate that, right? See, I think that's why it's so annoying because there's parts of this that I was like, oh, I really could have sunk my teeth into it if this just was elaborated a little bit more, you know? So basically he buys her to get her out of Duval's clutches. And since it's such an open forum, gross, Duval can't go back on his deal because then he'll lose customers because disgusting. Anyway, and Duval breaks his promise, of course, and tries to sell Sophie off. And Nicholas by Sophie too, right? Okay. So I was like, okay, maybe she'll be a little grateful. I mean, I'm a big sister. I would be super grateful. I'm a big sister and a little sister. I'm the middle child. Doesn't matter. Like, older sibling or younger sibling, someone helped me out with protecting them, I would be 100% grateful. You know what I mean? But there was no kind emotion in her point of view. Okay, a lot has happened. She wants to stay angry. Okay, maybe it comes up later, right? And they kind of go into a room and kind of pretend to have sex. And Nicholas is attracted to her, and they do make out a little bit. And she has like a panic attack reaction because, again, she's been SA'd. I like how he backs off completely and just kind of gets her and the younger sister out of there, right? So, and I get it. Like, writing historical romances for a modern day audience, it's probably super tricky. Like, I have no idea. It's probably crazy tricky, right? So I liked that Nicholas kind of walked that line very well. Again, he really reminded me of the other heroes in her other 2 books that I read. That was something I was worried about because the females all seem very similar and the men seem very similar. Again, he seems kind of similar, like this sarcastic, good at every fucking thing, okay? Hero. It just, I don't know. I don't like that. I like when male or female heroes in a book have flaws because it just makes me feel like they're more people than these imaginary fantasy things, you know? So, but that's just personal preference. You know, I've read plenty of books that were like that where the guy was perfect and I enjoyed myself. So, okay. Right now, at this point, I wasn't having a good time, but I was like, maybe I'll get better, right? Because freak knows, I've read plenty of books, Lisa Kleypas, that drove me nuts in the beginning, Lisa Kleypas, but then I freaking love them, and they were some of my favorite books at the end, Lisa Kleypas. Anyway, so he saves them. The younger sister is in like a safe house. He takes her to the country to do a training montage. And I'm like, first of all, she doesn't know how to ride a horse. She was an aristocrat. She was an aristocrat. That would have been part of her training, you know what I mean? To ride side saddle. So I was like, And then she can't pick a lock. You gotta be fucking kidding me. She's one of the best like thieves there are, right? So this is like they're planning the prison break of the character I read in the novella, like the 4th book, the novella. So I got that, right? He has to shave her, like cut her hair off. She's really upset. That scene, I got it. I was like, okay, I got where her emotions were coming from. I get it, right? Especially at that time. Yeah, I understand. And again, at this point, we had his POV for like a half of the prologue, and we get one scene close to the 50% line where his POV comes in, where he gets this bout of like unfounded jealousy. Like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, some points during the first half of the book, there's moments where he's kind to her because she's having like a freak out. And that's nice, but they're very few between. And because we're only in her point of view, we don't really get his softer side, his softer emotions towards her, because it's not really being expressed. Like when she's having a nightmare, he's very kind to her, you know, things like that. When she's having a panic attack about the flashback of the fire that killed her parents, he's kind of an ass. So it's like a weird kind of thing, and she hates him, like to the point where she threw her knives at him and cut his wrist. She felt guilty about it, but she refused to apologize because of her pride. And I was like, where did that come up though? Like, this is the first time we see her having like an unbendable pride, because she didn't have that until this point. She didn't have that with Duvall. She didn't have that with anybody else until this point. So I was like, I think that's what really annoyed me, the inconsistency with her character, which is a shame because she could have been so interesting. She had the pride from the beginning. I would have loved it. You know what I mean? The inconsistency of her character, and she freaking hates Nick. In her mind, he's evil, and like she thinks about getting revenge on Duvall once. The rest of the time, she's just spewing how much she hates this guy, like Nick, the guy that saved her and her sister. And yeah, he's an ass, but he's not trying to SA you. He's not threatening to SA your sister. He's not trying to sell you off like cattle. Like, And it turns out Duval killed her parents. So again, she's, in her point of view, it's like her hatred for Nick is more than Duval. And I'm like, girl, get your fucking head out of your ass. I mean, it's taking the I'm attracted to him, so I'm angry at him and myself a little too far. Like, way too far. And she was completely unlikable, and I was rooting for her, like, really badly, you know? I really wanted, like, a competent spy and a competent thief kind of, you know, cat and mouse game. I thought that would have been fun. But it went, because, like, enemies to lovers trope, it's really easy for the enemy's part to seem like vapid and bullshit, and it doesn't make any sense, right? And then on the other spectrum, it's really easy for, especially if you're in their head, for one of the characters to hate the other one so much that you're like, well, how are you supposed to, like, where's the mental gymnastics you're gonna do to, like, pull back this rage? Because absolutely burning hatred you have for this dude, you know what I mean? So it was just too much on that side, and I had to just cut it because I wasn't having fun. I was, like, forcing myself to read all of it, and I was just having a good time. So first DNF of 2024, yay. Okay, now the second book I read was Lament at Loon Landing, Secrets in Scrabbles Book 6 by Josh Lanyon. Yes, another one of these books. I gave this 3 stars, but it really should be like 2.5 stars. It's probably the one I liked the least. Ellery, still love him. Still, he's a little bean. He's adorable. Still love Pirates Cove. Love all the secondary characters. This one, he's playing bodyguard again to this folk music star that's kind of no longer a star that agreed to play at their festival. She's getting death threats, things like that. Who's trying to kill her? I guess there was one clue in the very beginning, but the clues weren't you just couldn't follow the mystery to get it. And again, the confrontation didn't really happen on the page. We did see a fun cop chase with the person that was trying to kill the star in a golf cart trying to drive away from cops running after him. That was a funny scene. I really enjoyed that. I like that. Jack and Ellery had another argument about the same thing they've been having arguments about for the last 3 books. So I really hope that's it. No more argument about the same freaking thing, please. And I know this is me. Pure Aries here. But like in, real life, if I have an argument with someone, I'm not going to want to have that argument 100 times again. You know what I mean? We had this out once. We learned to compromise. It's done. I'm done with this, But again, that's probably just me and my dysfunctionalness. Anyway, they have a fight again. They make up again, which is sweet. The doctor that I don't trust left. I still don't trust him. I don't know if he's like his own character in the own series or something. I thought he was behind the poison pen letters that Ellery's been getting all 6 books. And this was really what really bugged me. The conclusion to the poison pen letters is boring as fuck. It's boring as fuck. I was like, really? This is it? I really hope this is just a fake out and it turns out to be something else because this sucks. So the romance between Ellery and Jack, repetitive. They had a fight. They made up. Great. I still adore them as a couple. I still adore Ellery. The dog Watson is so cute. The secondary characters, love them to bits. They really feel like they just feel so well-rounded, the secondary characters, that I just adore it, right? The mystery wasn't that interesting to me. I was more interested in the poison pen letter part of the mystery. That I was more fascinated with. And the fact that it turned out to be like boring kind of sucks. There is one mystery because we don't, through the whole 6 books, Jane Smith, one of the secondary characters, we never know much about her, nor always think she's shifty. Something's going on, and we get a conclusion to that. I hope she shows up again because she'd be kind of a fun returning villainess. I feel like that would be a lot of fun, but I mean, happy ending was had by all. So that I still do really like this series. This is just wasn't a hit for me in the whole series as a whole. So yeah, I really hope this was the last time I argue about this, because that was like, I was like, this is a freaking third time. Like, seriously, resolve this shit. This is annoying. So I hope they resolved it for the final time, because I'm going to continue reading the series. I like it. Ellery, I adore. But like, come on now, you know? So that's it for me. I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.